Hey guys, this is Chad Joyce with Plum Real Estate and welcome to my YouTube channel, North Dallas Living. Thankfully you guys are here. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future content. Today is Foreclosure Friday and we are in Euless, Texas. Excuse the weather behind me. I'm trying to stay dry here, but Texas is doing its best impersonation of the Pacific Northwest today. So it's wet everywhere. But we're going to be checking out a foreclosure that's listed here. It's on Shelmar Drive in Euless. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath home, 1,761 square feet. We were built in 1973, and the ask price on this one is $260,000. So this property could possibly be a rental home. We are in the HVAC school district, which a lot of people like to be in. It's a pretty decent school district. Plus, you're also centrally located and you're close to DFW. In fact, I believe we're just south of it right now. DFW airport, that is. Or this could possibly be a good flip. So we will have a chance to go inside and check this one out and see what we find. All right, here we are. Let's see if we can find some lights in here. As you can see, I walked on in and it's pretty, you walk right onto the stairs here. All our lights are on. I guess we don't have lights, so we get to do the flashlight thing. Remember, a lot of times in foreclosure properties, you're not gonna have lighting for one reason or the other. Sometimes the bank doesn't want to put it in, or maybe there's an electrical issue that we'll find. But as soon as we walk in, you can see we have this nice open area, wood burning fireplace. We have, as you can see, nice green carpet. I just, not for me. And it looks like the property does have, this looks like a little luxury vinyl plank. It's not really luxury vinyl, it's the old engineered wood. It's not glued down, but they put it around the walkway, which is something a lot of people back in the 70s and 80s and maybe even the early 90s used to do. All of this would have to be ripped out. Now, if you look right over here, I can just see really quickly already, we got some settling all the way up this window, and you got a pretty decent crack. So now we can probably start seeing why this property is listed at $260. Similar homes are listed significantly higher, and we're talking like the 350, 360 range. So there's definitely potential here. It just depends how much work needs to be done. See, again, you're seeing that sheetrock crack in this settling go right across all the way over here. And it looks like it stops about that point. So we'll go check out the garage here. Okay, that's just a leaf. You never know. So here's our garage. Let's see what happens when we walk in here. Oh, well, they did a conversion. We will see this a lot too, where as you saw walking in, let's see, wonder if the light does work. Nope. As you saw walking in, they had a garage door here, so you'll see people do these conversions without notifying the tax authority. I don't blame them. It's not necessarily the most legal thing, but it does cut down on your taxes. I suspect the 1,761 square feet for this home does not include this addition. And quite frankly, this looks like it was a Home Depot special. We usually call that for when people do it themselves. I bet you could just kick that wall down right there and you've got your garage back. So everything in here needs to go. Let's see. Well, maybe not the hot water heater. This looks to be pretty recent and new. Let's check. Here's our, manufacture date. You can see right there is September 2020. So the hot water heater is actually in good shape. I don't think there's anything you need to do there, but if I was buying this house, all this other stuff will get torn out. The other good news is I don't see any other cracks right here. This is where we're coming through on the cracks in the front of the house. So maybe that stress doesn't necessarily come into the garage. All right, so back on in, let's finish off downstairs. Looks like this floor plan used to have a formal dining area. That's what this was set up to be. Quite frankly, I would I would pull that light out, put some recessed lighting, and make this just a big living area. Most people don't use their formal dining areas anymore. So, all right, here's our kitchen. We got some faux brick. Good thing for you guys watching this is that YouTube is not scratch and sniff, because oh my, this is not the best smelling property. So it looks like everything in here probably needs to be replaced. We've got older cabinets. Even that's the microwave. Looks like it's 15, 20 years old. Looks like the oven cooktop, it has been falling apart. So yeah, you're probably looking at, if you're going to redo this whole kitchen, $6,000 to $8,000 to pull that out, put new cabinetry in. Let's see what we got on the rest list. And one other thing you guys really can't tell is as we're walking in this, when I walk in from, where we came right there, and we walk across this way to the back door, we're actually walking up. So the foundation still isn't level. And you can also see some evidence of that here. This isn't as bad. These are straight cracks along the sheetrock. I'm not seeing any diagonal cracks, but that is still showing signs of movement. Here's where something that's concerning. See that? Not the one on the right, but see the one on the left that goes from the light to the heating, or I guess it's the heat lamp. I'm not sure what that is, but that's diagonal. That's showing significant stress on the property. When you start seeing diagonal cracks, that's when you're seeing significant movement. These cabinets over here, these were probably added in. I would just pull them out, honestly. Give you a little bit bigger area, because this is a nice eat-in kitchen. Give you a little bit more room. That's where the furnace used to be. You can tell there's the vent. So maybe they moved that up into the attic. I don't know. Let's keep on walking back this way. Again, I don't have any lights, so we're going to do this the old-fashioned way, and do our best horror movie impersonation. Here's the second bathroom. See, make sure I don't have any lights. Yeah, I don't have any lights. There's the toilet. Here's our shower tub combo. Again, I would say most of this stuff is probably going to be pulled out and replaced. That tub, it is a assisted, a special use tub. So, I would probably pull that out unless you had someone who had a hard time getting into bathtubs. Vanity needs to be replaced. That mirror looks like it is from the 70s. And they still have, there's their ceiling fan. But yeah, I would say probably everything in here needs to be replaced. You're probably looking at, another $3,000 to $5,000 depending on what you choose. So here's one of the bedrooms. Again, just be thankful this isn't scratch and sniff, because apparently, we got some pretty good stains on here. So I don't know if these are pets. Like you can see, like here's some food or whatever that splashed on the wall. And when people leave these homes and the air gets turned off, the smell just gets worse. It's not exactly that the smell was like this when they were living here or when someone was living here, but when you have stale air that's not being circulated, it just gets a lot worse. Looks like our windows have been replaced at some point. Got double pane windows here. This room needs to be repainted. I guess somebody wanted to do their impersonation of a cedar closet. This is just particle board. But that needs to be taken out. Or there may have been a hole there. All right, so let's see. Here's bedroom 2. Again, our lovely green carpet. If you're not noticing a theme yet, you're not paying attention. But same thing in here. Paint, carpet, doors, light fixtures. you know, outlets. And again, we're seeing, and this is what the smell is, you're seeing stuff like this that splashed on the walls and just has been in there. Again, a good painting and removing this carpet and pad will take care of all of that. It's not like it's something that can't be overcome. There's our electrical panel. And let's see what we got. That is the rest of the closet here. So let's go on over to the primary. Here's a closet that was added on. Probably needs to be redone. Looks like it's falling apart here. The boards, you can see where the holes used to be, and they added some right there. See the darker ones, those were added. The white ones are the originals, and they added them in there to get some more shelving, but it looks like they fell apart at some point. All right, here's the primary bedroom, and they decided to switch things up. We have blue carpet. And here's one thing to always take notice of. When you see a wall unit like this, that can mean one of two things. That can mean that, you know, somebody just wanted it to be extra cool, which, you know, is not unheard of here in Texas, or it means your AC unit isn't working as well. So just something to be aware of. Again, carpet, paint, you know, we're seeing, again, more signs of settlement. So it wouldn't surprise me if this whole house needs to be piered all around the property. Usually piers will go in about every 6 feet around the exterior of a property. You can count on them costing about $400 with everything included in there on the retail side. If you're an investor, sometimes you can get them a little bit cheaper, usually for about half the cost. Here's the bathroom, and it looks like they took out the shower. So technically, this is really, well, it's a half bathroom here. This is supposed to be a 2.5 bath home, so I'm guessing there's another bathroom upstairs. We do have some pests. Hard to tell what that is, but something's underneath the carpet. So I would have your inspector look at that, see if we have, I'm not seeing any termites, because I'm not seeing anything in the wall up here as you're going up. But you know, it could be carpenter ants or something like that that's underneath there. So let's go on back upstairs. Let's see what that has to offer, and then we'll check out in the backyard. All right, here we are. We came upstairs. Looks like we do have a full bathroom here. Shower tub combo. Again, sorry, all the power's out, but it's going to be similar to the one downstairs. I would recommend replacing everything. So you're looking at, depending on what you pick out for your shower and tub and your vanities, you're probably looking at $3,000 to $5,000. We'll check out that door when we leave, but here is the upstairs room. And it is a bedroom. So this is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath. Should be a 3-bath, because that should be a full bathroom in the primary bedroom. But this looks like, again, it's going to be the same thing. Oh, hey, look. Well, there's your furnace. That's where it got added into. See right there? So somebody moved it from downstairs to up here. But we're going to need carpet, paint, light fixtures, doors, basically in every room. So you need a complete cosmetic rehab here. You are seeing a jagged crack right there, which is not good news. It's even gone through the, oh gosh, what is that, wallpaper? You know, usually wallpaper will hide those things. That's why people like it. But, you know, not for this. So I think you got pretty significant foundation movement in this house. Let's see what we got in here. This looks like this may be another room. Oh yeah, it is. So this is the game room. Oh, this is what looks down above. Oh boy, this room smells. There is no air in here. Again, the power's off, but those windows were added in. Those were not there originally. And you can just see the carpet all these smells with the air not circulating have just been filling up this room like a nice little pungent aroma. And again, we're seeing a second window unit, so that tells me that there probably is something wrong with the AC system. So let's go check on outside. Oh, real quick before we do that, you can see right here, I don't know if it's going to come through very well, but see that little jagged line that comes down, over, and down? That's showing that there is settlement again. So this home will have significant foundation movement. So let's go out, check out the outside, and see what that has to offer. Oh, thank God. All right, fresh air. Well, looks like this was added in on the side. It's actually not a bad little idea. I don't understand some of the design though. But you can see there is some vinyl siding that has been removed. The top of this patio cover hasn't been covered, like you can see right there. See that? You see the nail sticking out right there? That would be a safety issue. Now they did at least, those got hammered back, but you're going to see these everywhere. And that would be something to be concerned about. But this is not a bad little area for having a patio. Looks like it was added in later. I'm not sure what this is over here. Let's see. Oh, the propane tank. That looks to be, good grief, I don't even know how old that is. So here's looking back on the side door. The siding on the rest of the house looks pretty good. And when you add vinyl siding like this, you're not going to see the cracks. You're only going to see the cracks in the brickwork. The vinyl siding does cover that up. So, I'm not expecting to see any extra additional cracks wherever there's vinyl siding. Just it covers that up. And well, here's the backyard, aka the secret garden. There's the AC unit. That probably looks like it's going to be about 15, 20 years old, so they probably are having some issues. We'll walk over there and see if we can find the serial number. They do have a pool, which, here's the pool equipment. This looks to be all, oh, it's starting to rain on me. This looks to be all original pool equipment. Hard to tell what's underneath that pool because it's covered up. But pools are going to be something that are expensive. If you got to replace all that pool equipment, you're probably looking at $25,000 to get this pool up and going, just assuming there's no problems in there. But I can tell you right now, there's going to be. Look at the separation between the pool and where the sidewalk is here. And you can actually see it, how it's popping out of the ground there. So there's going to be some work that needs to be done here too. I would say $25,000 would probably be the minimum for that. And here's a storage unit back there, storage shed that is a padlock, so I'm not going to walk back there and have a look at it. There's the back of the house. I didn't see any active roof leaks, but it does appear to be a worn roof. I would suspect you probably need to have that replaced. So you're probably looking at, $10,000 to $12,000 for a roof replacement there. And here's where we're going to see the foundation stuff. Let's go out there. And let me look back here first. Here's another indication we got big pool problems. Look at that big crack. And I'm not surprised. This pool is up higher on the hill. They have a makeshift retaining wall, wood retaining wall that is rotten and falling apart. You can see right there. So that's going to be even additional work. That I can see why they've got this priced $100,000 under comparable sales, because it's going to cost, a significant amount of work. So good thing I am wearing pants. Remember, whenever you go to these foreclosures, you're going to run into overgrowth like this. I mean, You can see my shoes, like they kind of go in there pretty deep. Keeps the fleas off you and other bugs. So there's the sheetrock, or not sheetrock, foundation settlement damage. You can see that brick is almost completely loose. It's been pulling away and falling towards that direction, which is in line with what we saw with the sheetrock damage in the house. You can see now somebody did some work here, some mortar work trying to repair that, but it looks like the foundation, I'm not seeing any holes in the ground, so I don't even know if the foundation was ever repaired on this house. It may not have been. There's your electrical panel. Again, the vinyl siding, which appears to be in decent shape. Let's go see, I guess since we walked out here, we can kind of see if we can find the serial number of this AC unit, see what age it is. Serial number 1912 OPBF. I don't see a manufacture date. Oh, wait. Manufacture date, there it is right there. 98. So 27 years old. So now you know why they had the window units in the home there. The AC probably doesn't work that well. So again, you're talking about foundation repair, normal cosmetic repairs, exterior repairs like this, pool repairs, a probable roof replacement, and here's the back patio is all cracked up too, which usually isn't that big a deal, but that's something that I would want to have done. So now you're seeing why we have so many damages, why this property is priced where it's at. So let's go back to the office and let's check the comps. Maybe it's still worthwhile even with all this work, and maybe with all this work, you can put an offer out on it that is off the ask price, and the seller is going to be motivated to move just because the property is so damaged. So let's go on back to the office and see what the comps have to say. All right, guys, we're back in the office. Let's take a look at this house that we just walked through. Again, there are a lot of problems here. You got a complete interior cosmetic redo. You got possible roof issues. You got pool. You got foundation. You got HVAC built in 1998, so probably has to be replaced. So there's a lot going on at this house. So let's just even see if this thing makes any sense. Now, the funny thing is, from when we walked through the house and then I drove back to my home office, they did a price drop. So we were at $260, they dropped the price to $247. So let's see if let's see if this is worthwhile. So here's the property. Again, I'm going to turn my little circle on here so we can highlight some things. Right now it's at $247,000. 4 bed. I kind of messed up that circle, but 2.5 bath. We got 1,761 square feet. Now look, they're saying in the MLS this is due to an appraiser. So I actually pulled up the tax records, and we're going to see here what we got. Now, because remember they had that weird garage conversion, and we weren't too sure about that. So you can see right here on the tax records, 1,726 square feet. MLS 1761. So there is a slight difference. I would suspect then, and have to correct myself on the on whether that appraisal or that measurement included the conversion, and it looks like it did. So 1761 should be everything. Let's see if we have any other major issues or things of note here. Let's see, here's an interesting thing. We got on market for 31 days, bank-owned property, which is down here. Says, and sorry, my circles are horrible. I'm not used to this thing yet. But I think that's really about it. So let's go ahead. What I did, we went over here. These are the sales comps. I did it for this community only for the last 90 days, and here's what popped up. We had 3 sales. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Again, we'll do this. We'll clear that out. You know, here's our 3-bedroom, 2-bath right here. You know, that one, that one. Now this one right here, we have a 4, 2.5. That's the one we want to look at. It doesn't have a pool right there, and we do, but there is a matching pair almost here pretty much, so we can kind of see what the value is that a pool adds. And the matching pair is these 2 homes. So this one, 1,571 square feet, 1,486, 3-bed, 2-bath, 3-bed, 2-bath right here. These match. We have a 1-car garage, a 2-car garage, similar lot size, negligible difference in year built, and pool, no pool. There is about looks like 85 square foot difference here. So, you know, there's going to be a little bit of a difference on square footage, but really what this is saying, quick and dirty, is this one sold at $330, this one sold at $345. Everything else is pretty much the same. Tells me that there's about a $15,000 bonus, or, you know, market's paying $15,000 for a pool. Again, quick and dirty. I'm sure appraisers right now are pulling their hair out because there's a lot more to that, but we're just looking at this really, really simply. So really that's telling us that we've got these 2 homes, 1761, 1726, same bed and bath count again, similar lot sizes, year built is similar. This one doesn't have a garage, which you're going to have to do some work to put that garage back, so I'm really not going to adjust for that. And, you know, here's our price, and there's the sales price of the other one. So what this is really telling me is if we take our house that we walk through and we put it back to a 4-bed, 2.5 bath with a 2-car garage, pool, we're going to be looking at $353,000, $353,250 plus about $15,000. So $368,250 is kind of the market value. Again, quick and dirty. That's what we're looking at. Leasing. Here's the same thing. I pulled it on over here. We don't have any leases in the last 90 days, so let's go and see the last 6 months. Nothing. Let's just go back and look at year then. See what we find. Oh, we got 3. So not too many leases. If we were going to do this a little bit more in depth, I would be taking a closer look at this. But here we go. Here's kind of what we're looking for. 405 Shelmar. That's on the street. 4-bed, 3-bath. 1,726 square feet, 1-car garage, no pool. It leased for $2,100. So again, quick and dirty. That's kind of where I would say that this home would lease for is $2,100 a month. You might get a little bit of a bonus for a pool, but quite frankly, as a rental, pools are more of a hassle than a bonus. So I wouldn't even recommend them for a plethora of reasons. So that's where we are. Let's look. I've got a little calculator, a little spreadsheet that I have put together. And what I do is over here in the top left, and you can see it. And I've kind of already come through here and done a lot of this, and I'm going to highlight this area. This is just basic information that we've got on the home. You know, property address, bedroom, bathroom, square footage. And this is, I put this together to kind of give me a quick and dirty way to look at homes. So I put our ARV, I need to update this to $368,250. Again, they dropped the price from $260 to $247. So I put that with the assumption that you're going to buy it at market price, like worst case scenario. What I do here is then kind of try to estimate what my repairs will be. I put in there, since this needs a full cosmetic rehab, I put $35 a square foot. I put $12,000 right here for the foundation. I didn't put anything for electrical. I said we're going to have to replace the HVAC system. And if we do replace the pool and repair it, that's $25,000. The other option with a pool is to bury it. And in this instance, I would do that. If you're going to be putting $25,000 into a house and it's only going to give you a $15,000 bump, it's not worth it. So if you want to bury this pool, that's probably going to be about a $5,000 cost estimate, and then we could drop this back to $353, $250. All right. And I also added, $10,000 in there to replace the roof. This little calculation, just to show you, I take my ARV, I multiply it by 70%, and I subtract out my repairs. That's where I would recommend that you buy the house at. If you were going to flip this property, that's where you need to be. Unfortunately, there's so many repairs on this home, it's hard to really do it. And my second tab over here, it kind of goes over some of that stuff. Now, what I put in here is if you guys do decide to work with me or you have questions on this, I can go over all this in a little bit more detail. But basically, this part here is my acquisition cost, and I put it as a true cash deal. Like, there's no interest payments, no mortgage payment, none of that. Most investors are going to have that holding cost. And then I put in here, here's my sale of the property, holding it for 180 days. Put in a little bit of a commission. This may be higher for you. Since I'm a broker, I can get away with not paying myself. That commission percentage at 2.5 may be higher than what I do. But even with that, we're still looking at a $12,000 loss, and that's best case scenario. That's if you buy it at $247. If you bought it at the $149,640, again, you're looking at, now this does calculate an $86,000 profit. That's way too high. Again, you're going to have holding costs. You're going to have loan origination costs. And some of those, and if you do a hard money loan, some of those costs can eat up $20,000, $25,000 very quickly. So that's why, that's really not even included in this. I'm just doing this from a strict cash only perspective. And also the other concern here is that foundation is really bad. It's an older house. It's a slab foundation. If they have to do interior repairs, you really do run the risk of damaging that plumbing. And to repair the plumbing on a house, if you have to go through and repair all that plumbing and replace it, you're probably looking at $30,000 to $35,000. It can be done, but it's hard work. Like, those guys got to dig under there, pull the plumbing out, replace it. It's not easy work, and it is expensive. So I wouldn't even recommend really pursuing this. If this was me, I wouldn't recommend even pursuing this. There's too many variables on this house. And you can look this down here on the blue part. This is my rental estimate, and I put the rental rate at $2,100. Even if you want to add in $150 a month for the pool, you're looking at an 80% LTV, which is what this is. You're looking at a mortgage payment based on an 8% interest rate at almost what your rent is. You need to, if you're looking at these, you need to consider there's going to be maintenance, which is right here. There's going to be, if you don't want to manage it, there's going to be a management fee. See, I have that over here on the other page. I forget what I put it at. But, rental management. Right there. Those are your monthly taxes. That's insurance, which I think the insurance is probably even a little low. So to break even on this house, if you bought it at, if you ended up with a loan at $282,600, you would have to rent that house out for $3,250 just to break even, and that neighborhood just isn't going to support it. Really, what this bank needs to do to sell this home, and I ran into this with a property that I just sold in Grand Prairie. They really need to target somebody who wants to live there. Otherwise, they're going to have to give this house away. If somebody wants to live there, there are loan programs for homeowners to go in, and you can do this work and you can get it financed. Banks have their own conventional rehab loan programs, and FHA has a 203K program. And I really wish more and more agents and mortgage brokers would kind of tell you about these programs, because that gives you the opportunity to really repair this home, bring it up to modern standards, and you can be in the neighborhoods you want. But that's really who the bank needs to find for this. So, you know, for my recommendation on this one, this house wouldn't be touched by an investor for either a flip or for rental, and it's probably going to be on the market for quite a while until they can find somebody who wants to live there and wants to rehab that home to stay there. So guys, thank you for watching the video. We're doing the final thoughts here in my home office. Trying to get home before all the rain hit North Dallas. I really wasn't successful. But thank you for watching that video. We did do a quick walk through that home, saw the myriad of problems that are there. We did a quick analyzation, saw that it's really a no-go for an investor for a fix and flip, and saw that it's a no-go for an investor for a rental. Really, that property needs to be targeted to a homeowner who wants to be in the community and who wants, you know, to put the work in for that. And they're going to have to go with some type of rehab loan, you know, 203K or some other conventional banking loan that allows you to finance those rehabs. So I would suspect that house, unless they really sell it cheaply, it's going to be sitting there for a while. I think that's going to be a tough buyer to find. But like I said, thank you for watching the video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future content. Enjoyed having you guys walk in this one. If you have any questions about real estate, my contact information is down below, and be happy to answer any questions that you have. I do list and sell for both buyers and sellers in the 5 major counties. We've got Collin, Denton, Dallas, Tarrant, Rockwall County. Plus, we also go to Johnson, Euless, Parker, Cook, Denton, Kaufman, go all over the place. So if you have any questions, you're in that area, please feel free to reach out. Love to chat with you. And until next time, you guys have a good one. We'll see you later.